Hello and welcome to another episode of Fully Charged Plus. Now, without trying to sound like a broken record, each of us has the opportunity to make small changes in our lives that together could have a huge impact on climate change. Whether that's replacing your current car with an EV, fitting sustainable tech in your home, or simply changing to an eco-electricity tariff. But what if I was to say, many of us also have a resource which is just sitting around, doing very little, but which could in fact be doing a lot for the environment? Well, what am I talking about? I'm talking about money. Not billions, I'm talking about savings and investments, things like ISAs and stocks and shares. Well, today I'm joined by Duncan Grierson, CEO of Clim8, a specialist investment company, and to learn more about the sector and why we really don't need to choose between our financial goals and our fight for climate change. So, welcome Duncan, and for the benefit of our audience, can you tell us about what Clim8 is and what it is you do?
So Clim8 is an investment app that you can find on your smartphone, and we make it super easy for anyone to invest into companies that are already having a positive impact on climate change. And we do that by focusing on 6 core themes of clean energy, smart mobility, clean technology, sustainable food, circular economy, and clean water systems. And by just focusing on those 6 core themes, we feel we can focus and be very kind of specialist in where people should put their money.
So in terms of financial products, I mean, I'm familiar with ISAs. I've got a couple of ISAs. What other products do you offer?
So we have an ISA, we have a GIA, a general investment account. So if you already use up your ISA allowance with somebody else or with us, you can also invest in generally. And we actually find that a third of our customers they've used up their ISA allowance, but they really want to invest for impact, and therefore they have a general investment account.
So you also have a product that you're just about to launch called a junior ISA. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, this is a brilliant product we're very excited about because it's a way for you to invest in your children's future. So you can open up a children's account in the app, a separate account in their name, and you can invest up to £9,000 a year on it. That's the government allowance. But you can invest as little as £25 as well to get started. So you're literally investing in companies for your children's better future. But what is also really neat about the junior ISA is not only you as a parent can open up and invest in it, but grandma and grandpa can gift into it. Uncles and aunts, godparents, friends can also invest into it, for birthdays or for Christmas. And so we think this is kind of a really neat way to kind of build a community around investing for good. And so we're very excited about launching this product, which is coming out very soon.
And then what makes what you're doing with Clim8, what makes that different from, say, investing in your local high street bank?
So the challenge with a lot of the kind of incumbents, kind of your local bank, is that they will probably be investing into what's called ESG, so environmental, social and governance investing. And it's really a screening tool that a lot of the large asset managers have used over the last years to screen out, if you like, the worst offenders from portfolios. But what it doesn't do is look for very impactful companies. So you have these anomalies where Tesla, for example, recently was displaced from an ESG rating as being below ExxonMobil, one of the largest oil and gas companies in the world, which I think on anybody's measure, that's completely bonkers. And so we think ESG is not really fit for purpose if you're using that as a tool for screening for impact. And which is why we do completely the opposite. We're focused on actively looking for companies that are having a positive impact. So very, very different from ESG investing, where actually a tsunami of money has gone into ESG funds in the last few years, and we think that's a wasted opportunity. That money really should be going into companies that are having a positive impact on climate change.
But now many of our audience will probably be more familiar with the term greenwashing, and that's kind of what you're talking about there. So can you explain a bit how you can avoid greenwashing and really make sure your money's going in the right place?
Yeah, so greenwashing is the use by companies of marketing tools, marketing messaging, to give the impression that the product they're selling is greener than it actually is. And even worse sometimes, they're using it to kind of hide the fact that it's polluting the environment. And we've found in particular with fossil fuel companies over the last few decades that they go even further. They're kind of greenwashing on the front end, but they're actually lobbying in the background to reduce regulation on pollution from oil and gas companies, and clearly that's not good. And we found the same thing in the investment industry with ESG, which has been a tool for kind of massive, epic scale kind of greenwashing of these funds. And so as a consumer, it's quite tricky to try and cut through the greenwashing, and there's really a couple of tips. I mean, one is look out for the buzzwords, look out for eco and sustainable and ethical and green. And when you see that, try to scratch under the surface a little bit, try to do your own background research, try to find out what is actually going on. So if you're investing, for example, if you have an existing product with a fund manager, ask them, what are the top 50 holdings in my pension? Don't ask just for the top 10,
right,
because there might be a whole lot of other stuff sitting down below. That's typically where the stuff is hiding, the nasty stuff you wouldn't want to have in your portfolio. Ask them, what am I actually investing into? So you have to sadly do a little bit of groundwork. And for example, we have a customer of ours who was with another platform provider, a much larger platform, and she had an ethical portfolio with them. She did a bit of homework, and she discovered that there was BP and Rio Tinto sitting in that portfolio. She quickly moved her portfolio to Clim8. So that's a good example of how if you just do a little bit of homework, you can actually find out which companies are really impactful and which are greenwashing.
So then what kind of impact can sustainable investing actually have on the environment then?
So there's a number of pieces of research now that you can have 20 times the impact with your savings than you can with all the other behavioral changes like flying less, eating less meat, cycling more. And that's because your money is going into companies that are having a really positive impact. And I think also part of our mission is to kind of raise awareness about these companies that we are using more and more as consumers. And we believe that actually you can have a really good return in the long term by investing in these megatrends, as we're calling them, these 6 core themes, because they're literally the products of the future that we're beginning to use now. Electric vehicles being a very good example of that. Clean energy, we're buying more and more of that. And so our belief is over the long term, you can actually have a better return by investing in these mega trends, these themes, than investing in kind of the incumbents, kind of fossil fuels, which are really kind of technologies of the past. You should be investing now, and over the longer term, you're likely to actually get a better return. And so part of our mission is really to dispel the myth that green investing, you're kind of giving up a return. We think the opposite is the case.
So I understand that your customers use the app to create their green investment accounts, but what does that actually look like?
So you go in the App Store or Google Play if you have an Android device, you download the app and then you onboard in a few minutes. It's very easy to onboard. You go through some suitability questions and then we ask you for your risk profile. So cautious, balanced, or adventurous. And then depending on what your appropriate risk level is that you choose, we then give you a portfolio pre-curated. And there are about 400 stocks across the portfolio, and these are globally listed stocks and specialist funds and some carbon credit instruments. And so we make it super easy for you to do that. We then show you what that portfolio looks like, and then over time, we show you the returns on it. We also give you something really interesting. It's a novel feature for us, which is a climate impact calculator. So we show you the impact of the companies in your portfolio in 2 ways. One is the carbon emissions abated by the companies in your portfolio, but also the clean energy generated by the companies in your portfolio. And it's in a nice graphic within the app. So we try to make the app kind of very user-friendly, a good customer experience, and very engaging. And we're adding more and more content in there to tell you stories really about the companies that you're investing into.
Now, you've just launched your partnership with Orca. So can you tell me how investing can help marine life?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a really interesting fact that one whale can sequester 5,000 times as much carbon as a tree, and therefore if we can do more for the whales, we can have a bigger carbon impact. And so we've launched this campaign with Orca, which is a whale and dolphin preservation charity, and we're giving £40 for every referral from a customer to a new customer who come on board. And so we really want to help preserve these beautiful beasts, which are actually carbon capture machines. They are far more impactful than planting trees, and so we really want to get behind Orca and similar charities.
So we need to be planting whales.
We need to be planting whales at mass scale.
So I'm sure our audience are going to be keen to know more. So what would you say is the first step to get them going?
So you can download the app in the App Stores or in Google Play, or you can go to our website to learn more before you start onboarding. And there's loads of information on our website about the kind of companies we're investing into, about the investment team. We have an in-house investment team of sustainability experts. And you can look about the companies that we're investing into. And you can invest from as little as £25. So go to the website, clim8.com, and check us out.
So thank you very much, Duncan. Really interesting. And as I said at the start of this episode, this sector of sustainable investing is something we really haven't featured on the show before. And it's another great example of a tool we can all use to help fight climate change. Now, all the links to Clim8 are in the description box below. So why not go and check it out? And if you would like to see more episodes like this, then please do like and subscribe to this channel. And as always, until next time, if you have been, thank you for watching.